Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to our first video here in our really high-speed garage setup. It's going to be fun. So I'm the Basic Bitch here with my buddy here,
Barry Biker.
and we're going to do a little intro video, just talk to each other and have you guys get to know us a little bit. Some of you guys obviously know us, but for the rest of you, first time meeting us. So we're going to start off just introducing what we're smoking. I'm smoking the Bravado Cigar Club Not Tony from November 2022 box. And
I have a Palermo Reserve.
and the 10-year anniversary, I believe it's the Connecticut shade. Really perfect for coffee. That's what we're doing. Just having coffee, smoking a cigar, and talking. So, yeah. Anybody want to say anything about me using a V-cut? I don't give a shit.
Well, I traditionally go more for a flat cut.
Yeah. You are more traditional. So our situation is a little bit strange when people first hear about it, and a lot of people think it's weird, but really works for our family. But Travis and I, of course, best friends, hang out a lot of similarities between us. But funniest part of that is he's dating my ex-wife. They've been together for quite a while. Now, go ahead and explain. Best friends after the fact.
Yeah. Everybody always assumes that I'm now dating my best friend's wife after they got divorced. The truth is we started dating and I met him months later, and then it was probably a little over a year before we actually, had any family functions or hung out and realized that we did have a lot in common.
A lot.
And we're basically into a lot of the same things. Some things we do, some things we don't do, but both of us are into them, or at least like the theory of being into them.
It's like starting out. I was never a whiskey guy. I'm a rum guy. And I was like, okay, mixed drinks, rum, and you're always like whiskey. And I'm like, no. Then
I remember that first day. Like we decided to sit around with it, and I talked him into drinking a whiskey, and I believe it was Jameson's Black Barrel, one of my favorites. And poured him, and he'd been a rum drinker, which he would drink, maybe 2-3 rums in an evening of bullshitting and chatting. And I poured him the Jameson's, and it literally took him all night, and he still probably had half a glass when he was done. And it just was not his thing.
And it was a great picture, too. It was like one of the first pictures that you took.
Yeah.
But then shortly after that, he got me hooked, and now...
But yeah, that piqued your interest enough that you started looking into it and researching it. And once you started learning about the history and what all it took to make it, kind of got into it and started opening your mind up to drinking it, and got your palate used to tasting something that wasn't so sweet, like rum and all of that.
And then you turn around and you find a whole bunch of bourbons that actually are sweet anyway. I mean, like, what was the first bourbon I got? Was the Blade and Bow, I think, was the first one that I got. And the reason I got it was because I saw in a YouTube video that it was something that you can get instead of Blanton's, because obviously nobody's getting Blanton's on a normal basis. So they were like, oh, you can get Blade and Bow instead of Blanton's, and I tried it, and I was like, I didn't know whiskey could be sweet. I'm like, that's a little ridiculous. And then after that, moved on, now Old Forester, now all that. So yeah, got me hooked, and now we have
about 120, maybe? Somewhere around 120 bottle collection.
Just of whiskey. That's not even counting the rest of the bar.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of transformations over the last going on 8 years that I've been dating Jenny, and then about 6.5, 7 years that we've been friends. Went from the bar was literally covered in the kitchen to a countertop in the dining room to, do we really need a dining room?
Yeah.
To a full-on bar, and then we. Just one thing led to another. We went over a 7-person bar, 7-foot bar, with shelving, and that we pretty much much built ourselves. A back brace.
Well, you guys built that while I was
yeah, with Papa and Jenny's dad. Which I'm literally saying we built them, when in fact I held the flashlight while he did the work.
And I lived through the pictures you were sending us, yeah, putting it together. I remember we had a party that one time, and we filled the whole island, the whole kitchen island, of all the different liquors, all the alcohols, and Sean went by with the phone and did the panoramic video of it. So, to get back on the topic of things, so years ago, we would once we became friends, and we'll get into that a little bit more too in a little bit. But we always had a habit of sitting outside talking. The whole family, everybody's here, everybody's talking, sharing stories and stuff. And Sean, our son, he was always very interested in the dynamic of our conversations. But not only that, but the way a conversation starts here, before you know it, it's way over there. And he always said we should just record ourselves talking.
Yeah.
It was just like, why would we do that? We're two middle-aged guys who just talk. And he kept saying it, and other people kept saying we should do it. So I said, you know what, let's give it a try. And so that's what brought us here. And it's been interesting over the past couple days trying to get things in order, but that's all part of the process. That's it's fun. That's part of the fun part.
Yeah. Well, people always, they always say, "Oh, I can never be friends with my ex's ex," or "I can never be friends with my ex's new boyfriend,"
or hang out with your ex.
Or hang out. Like, why would you do that? How did that come about? Well, we have a lot of kids. I have 3 from my previous relationship. Jenny and Jeff have 3 plus 1 daughter who is best friends to the daughter who
we
lives with
basically
us.
adopted.
We love her. And she's
her
our daughter.
Always called her my fake half daughter.
And then Jeffrey's new wife, she has 5 kids.
5.
So always lots of kids. Now, granted, they're all growing up and getting older, and most of them are over the age of 20, other than like 5.
Yeah, 4. except for my newborn, except for my new ones.
And then grandkids and co-grandparenting. It's funny, we'll hang out. We hang out with the kids so much, and they all call us both dad. And our son, the one who really pushed us to do the show, he was in a car accident. And, we saw him. We just happened to be driving by, bringing one of our other sons home from work. And we swung back. I said, that was Sean. So we swung back around, and we're walking up to the cop, and the cop asked Sean who we are. And he said, "These are my dads." And of course, we get that look that we always get when people hear it. And we're like, no. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not what it's about.
He was like, "Hold the wait." Oh, that defeated look on his face. I just laughed. I thought it was great. I thought it was funny. Let them think what they want. Don't really care anymore what people think.
But no, it's good.
Worst nightmare that day. Driving down the road, and we're bitching about how traffic is all backed up and nobody here can drive, and we pull up and it's Sean's car. And it's like, oh, well, here we go. So pretty much that's where the dynamic started. And I think the biggest change that came up, which really brought me like, all right, because, hanging out with your ex-wife, of course, stuff with your kids, you're always going to do stuff with your kids. If you're not, you're wrong. Get over yourself, deal with each other so you can hang out with your kids. That's my public service announcement. But when my sister died, and so I was working over in Iraq, and I get the phone call that my sister passed away. And I'm struggling to get back, struggling to help out my mom. I'm not even thinking about getting the kids up there because I'm not even thinking about that yet. And this man drove. He went to work, came home, drove all night to get them up to Virginia to be there for my sister's funeral. And after that, and plus my grandfather loved him. My grandfather always asked about him. So from that point on, I was like, okay, I see how this is going. So after that, we hang out all the time. Somewhat closer. Definitely the closest male relationship I've ever had. brothers, co-fathers, now co-grandfathers.
Gives me someone to give nonstop shit to. I like to rag on him for anything from his basic bitchness, his height, his style of cooking. I just love it. It's fun. He takes it so well. He dishes it back.
I mean, what am I going to get upset for?
He likes to go into, I don't know, places like my place of work, seek out people that I work with, and ask them if his bestie's there.
Okay, you got to understand this man's dynamic, though. This man is a biker, obviously, bearded, bald guy, has that whole demeanor. So yeah, so when I walk in and you know that's the demeanor he gives off to people, and you walk up to somebody, hey, is Travis here? I was, looking for my bestie. And of course, they give you endless shit for that.
Oh, they do. They rag on me nonstop for weeks, every time.
Ran into Miss Ann the other day, and she was it was yesterday, just all talking about the baby. It was great. But yeah, so that's how we got here. That's why we got here. And now, so that goes into a little bit of, our personalities. Basic Bitch, everybody who's watched us really going to find out pretty quickly how that name fits me. I mean, I'm drinking coffee here. I made the creamer. It's a cake batter creamer, and it's freaking delicious, by the way.
You caught that I made the creamer, right?
I made it.
Normal people just go buy some creamer.
Yeah, but this is so much better. I mean, it's not like it's difficult either.
Now, granted, I get the benefit from a lot of his basicness. Like, he makes our clear ice and all the ice for our parties and our whiskey get-togethers and stuff. And it's nice. It is nice. Those balls of ice last for a long time. So
I just bought a brand new freezer. Just got it. And it is only at my house just for the ice I make. So yeah, bougie, basic, ridiculous.
Some of you might be wondering how it came around to him having the name The Basic Bitch. And here's a little story. He was in Iraq where he works, and he was so excited to come home. It was right around Thanksgiving time, and he was excited to come back because Wawa has pumpkin spice lattes. Well, when he got back, he went in and found out that they had discontinued them for the rest of the season, and it wasn't even Thanksgiving yet, so he had decided to boycott them for, I don't think it lasted a couple weeks. Yeah. But we meet up. One of the things we always do when he gets back in town, the first day that I'm coming back from my job and he's in, we'll meet up at our favorite breakfast spot here in town, and we'll have some coffee and breakfast and catch up on what all went down,
Shout out
what all we wanted
to Steamworks Coffee.
And so we do. So we met up there and we go inside, and it's him, his wife, and myself, and we go up and I order, and then his wife orders. And then he steps up to the counter, and I just see it on his face. He goes, would you happen to have, and I just said, you're such a basic bitch. And then of course he asked her, would you happen to have coffee with pumpkin spice latte or pumpkin spice coffee? And, we laugh about it, and we don't think much about it after that. We just gave him a little bit of a hard time and moved on. And then we were sitting there talking to the family, Sean, and trying to come up with a name for the channel. And I said, why not The Basic Bitch and the Bearded Biker? And it just kind of stuck.
That's it. And I mean, it doesn't hurt that I love Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, and all the other people. A lot of girly music that
all crap that you can guarantee I don't listen to.
I listen to the stuff you listen to, though, but I listen to everything.
Well, yeah, it's because I have good taste.
I am quite non-judgmental, whereas other people are quite judgmental. But yeah, so that's pretty much our dynamic. That's where everything started. That's how we got here. Do a lot of stuff, hopefully on the channel. So yeah, we can talk about what we're hoping to do with that. I mean, we're going to be doing this long format where we talk to each other, talk to you guys. Hopefully later on, once we get more followers and get some more content out, we'll be able to do a bunch of lives, and do stuff like that.
And we'll talk about everything we're into and everything we like. Anything from EDC to bikes to cigars to whiskey, movies, sports, just any topic. Any trips we go on. We do a lot of family get-togethers, him and his wife and kids, and us and the kids, and we all get together and we do trips and do day stuff together. Do shrimp boils,
Day
brisket,
stuff.
smokes.
DAY.
And so we'll be talking about some of those things. You can throw in some photos of some of those days, and like if we go on a bike ride, we'll throw in some pictures of that, maybe even some short video clips.
Which I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I'm going to get my motorcycle license.
Hey, and just so you know, he's serious. He's been going to get it for the last year.
For the last 4. COVID got in the way of some of it, so. But yeah, we have parties, get-togethers. At least once a year, we try to do a party. Got some plans for that in the future for our eventual Patreon and stuff like that, events that we want to put together. We really want to build this up, get you guys involved, so make sure you subscribe and follow on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We got a great Facebook group we're starting up. Make sure you guys join us there. But we definitely, he's starting up photography again. That's where everything kind of jumped off. He got this $13,500 camera, and we were like, okay, so maybe we should go ahead and do this podcast, this YouTube thing. So we jumped off on it. But even Sean and talking about having a golf day and bringing the camera out and recording some of the shenanigans that will go on with golf. Our other son, JJ, he's into fishing, so we'll get the kids out there on the intercoastal. We'll be fishing out there, spend the day, maybe even go down to the Everglades once in a while, do some fishing on a boat.
Well, they figured, they've been trying for 6 years to figure out a way to get me out on the golf course, and they finally figured it out. Asked me to come, take video and photos of them golfing. So I guess now I'll be heading to the golf course.
Yeah, it'll work finally. I've got Amanda to go once. Luckily, it rained, so she didn't have to complain too much. It rained, and we had to go back in. So we start off first hole. I drove the ball over 250 right into a bunker. Got to the bunker, hit the ball out of the bunker right on the green. It was a beautiful shot. I'm like, today's going to be a good day. Get to the second hole, start storming. So Amanda's like, oh no, what do we do? And I'm like, well, we got to go back to the clubhouse until the storm passes or we leave. So we get back to the clubhouse, and she realizes the clubhouse has a restaurant and a bar. So we sit down, and she has a couple drinks, and we're done for the day.
Stick your lightning rods to the air and wave them like you just don't care.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Well, my wife's not exactly a big drinker. She's very lightweight, so she has a drink and a half, and she's done for the day. But, we're hopefully going to be doing all that stuff. We'll be the parties. The parties are a big part of what we do. Every year we try to have one big party. I'm behind the bar. He's out there.
We do throw some kick-ass parties, and everybody loved them except for my girl. She's not a fan. She always says, next time, less people.
And yet, as soon as the party's over, the first thing she does is start planning the next one.
But I think the last one we had was, the last big party we had was what, Halloween?
It was a birthday party.
No, that was a party. But the last big one was Halloween last year. No, the year before last.
Year before last.
And I think it was, 50 to 100 people showed up?
There was a lot.
And that being said, we live in a moderate, normal-sized home. We don't have, excessive property in a mansion or anything. So it's done in a normal single-family home.
Now,
that's a lot of people in your house.
Now, we're trying to fix that. We do buy lottery tickets several times a week. One of these days, we're going to win that, and we're going to be able to do a lot more, especially with our setup and being able to smoke inside with some rabbit air exhaust, and be a really nice setup.
But hoping the smoke's not too bad here in the screen, because I see my cameraman's about to fall out back there. She is not a fan of cigars at all.
All right, so we're back after a brief intermission, airing the garage out a little bit. We're going to get this hammered out over time. It's our first video. We're still trying to get our footing.
Our whiny cameraman was choking out in the background there, so we had to air it out.
So getting into things, you're going to hear a lot of times we're going to mention, I work in Iraq. I'm a contract air traffic controller for the State Department, and I work in Baghdad at the embassy. So there's going to be a lot of really good stories that I'm going to be able to share. It's part of the reason Sean said we should do this, because both of our stories are pretty awesome. This guy's done everything from photography to truck driving to landscape to, I don't know, you're on a presidential protection detail for a while, right?
No. No, I've had a lot of jobs in my young years. I bounced around to a little bit better money, a little something more interesting. I got bored easily at work. Once I mastered how to do something, it just had no desire to stay doing it. And it wasn't until I got to the age of, oh, look, I'm going to have a kid, that I started holding on to jobs for more than a year. And then I got into trucking, and trucking led me to deciding I didn't want to live on the road for, all but 30 days of the year. And I wound up coming off the road and helping do some lawns for a while. And then now I currently drive truck. I have a couple different titles. I'm a back-end manager at a family-owned large produce market. I'm a produce buyer for that same market, and I'm the truck driver for the market. So that's what I do now. So I work from home. I'm gone maybe one night, 2 nights a week, just for the overnight, and then I'm back. And then Jeffrey's gone for about 3 months, and then he'll be home for a month solid. And pretty much his family and our family hang out almost exclusively for a month. And then we sleep for 3 months while he's gone to catch back up on some rest.
We literally live 2 minutes apart. So the kids have timed it. We've left our driveway and they're counting to see how long it takes to get here. And then when I'm home for that month, typically he talks me into going at least once on his overnight. So that we ride in the truck, we talk, and sometimes we convince each other to buy things we don't necessarily need, like the 511 bags at one time.
Or the 7 Zippos.
Yeah. Knives.
Multiple knives. Oh, cigar collections that are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially his. Mine's modern. I can at least be,
well,
okay with it.
So because I'm gone for 3 months at a time, I'm a member of Bravada Cigar Club, and I get boxes every month. Some of them I put away for my retirement collection, which is getting a little out of control. Some of them I bring over to Iraq with me, and some of them I have for smoke now. But now that we're doing this, now that we're going to be doing this channel, I'll be smoking a lot more cigars, which is perfectly fine with me. But the collection's getting a little out of control, so I definitely need to thin it out. And I do know that there's going to be a bunch of people in the Bravada Facebook group that are going to be, hopefully they're watching Nate. Hopefully they'll be commenting that I'm actually smoking them now. So, ha.
Yeah, and his basicness comes in handy too, because we got an upcoming show coming where we're going to do our personal experience of joining a whiskey club, which we joined for a little over a year, I think, or right around a year. We're members, and got a bottle every other month. So we're going to do a tasting of all those bottles because we have not opened a single one. To be able to do a show like this and do a tasting, and just our overall opinion of if we thought it was worth the money, worth the time, if the whiskey was really all they say it's going to be, or if we could just go to the liquor store and buy better bottles ourselves.
Looking forward to all of them except for the Ardbeg.
And we've already had the Ardbeg. We have a bottle open on the shelf now. It's different. It's not our favorite. I've been drinking whiskey off and on my whole life, and I still am not overly fond of the super smoky whiskeys. But
yeah, the smoky peaty Islas are not my thing. My wife makes starting a business right now. In fact, making soaps and the like, and she just recently bought one a scent, and it's a smoky something. I attribute it to smoky cigar and whiskey. And she's like, oh, you have to smell it. I opened it up and smelled it, and I smelled Ardbeg, and I was like, oh god, this is not my scent. But on top of that, we'll definitely try that out. We got 6 bottles. Looking forward to tasting that. Now, he's been drinking whiskey off and on since he was in diapers, which was back in the early 1900s, and I am pretty new to whiskey, and so our palates, however, are not really, we can't pick out flavors yet. So like these guys who sit here and drink it like, oh, I taste the dew on the eastern side of a mountain on August 1st. No, we can't do that, no. I can tell you it tastes like whiskey. I can tell you this smoke is deep and dark, but I'm not picking out, anything special because I'm not there yet. But you can go along on the adventure of that, trying to describe what we're tasting. We've done a couple of blinds, and they've actually been quite fun. Sometimes we have different people just go up on the wall, pour us some drinks, and we taste them, and those have been fun. The last time Alex was home and we did those were a lot of fun. And you'll see over time, once this guy gets a few drinks in him, he's about as talkative as I am.
Yeah, a little quiet. By the way, just a heads up, you might notice that the video goes in and out of focus a little more than we'd like. We're still working on some technical difficulties. It's the difficulty is we bought a camera that far exceeds my technical experience, so we're kind of trying to learn it as we go. I come from a world of photography that was all very analog, very hands-on film photography, and now to be thrust this many years later into digital, and then not only that, but a professional grade digital camera, it's taken a little bit of a learning curve to learn all the bells and whistles.
I mean, right now we got the $14,800 camera sitting on a I don't know, a drawer, just situated. We're waiting right now for the.
Excuse me, sir. That's called a tripod.
Well, we're waiting for the tripod. It's not really sitting on the tripod.
It's not a traveling tripod.
Now the tripod is holding up the lens, but we're waiting for the real tripod to get here. And once it gets here, we'll work on where we're going to put it. We're going to work on sound. We're going to work on stuff. And as soon as our oldest gets married and moves out, JJ, very proud of you, bud. Once that happens, his room immediately turns into our filming studio. We can't smoke in there, but we'll be doing a lot of videos in there.
Yeah, you'll see us at 3 different locations on those videos. Either A, here in the smoking garage. The studio, once it becomes available, probably March, sometime after March. And also our in-home bar.
Which you saw in the preview video, hopefully, if you're part of our Facebook group, Instagram, or hopefully on TikTok. We'll get that started.
So we're trying to, set the house up. Basically, COVID brought about the mindset to us that we want to have everything we love to do, which is go to bars, hang out, have family time, all in our house in case we can't get out. So kind of what we did. We just said we don't need a dining room. Whoever comes over to eat, but everybody comes to drink.
Let's see. I'm trying to cover everything just in this brief little intro video. We're going to get better at this. It's our first time in front of the camera, especially together, so.
You remember your first time, all the fumbling, the sweatiness, the awkward feeling of, is this the right spot, the right place? Am I doing it right? Are you going to respond to me?
I don't think he remembers. I mean, that was a long time ago. You were talking about photography back when you were
There's a lot more to remember back then. You had to watch out for the dinosaurs. You couldn't make too much noise. It was hard to get the wooden underwear off. There's a lot more to it.
Where's the key to the chastity belt? But with that being said, that's us. Don't know really what much more to say. We don't want to tell too many stories because we're saving that for other videos, and we've got a lot of them.
And we're planning on releasing, here in the beginning at least, probably every other week. We're going to have to do a little extra recording when he's on his home time, so that we'll have videos to edit and release while he's gone to fill that gap, because the internet there at the embassy in Iraq is not very consistently. You can't really count on it. And the times we need it, it might not be available. And it comes in and goes out a lot. So we're going to do everything pretty much while he's home and be able to edit and release it while he's gone. So stay tuned.
On top of that, if you guys have questions, have comments, we can devote whole videos to your questions. So leave questions in the comments. We'll pick them out. We'll get some other people involved behind the camera. They can read out the questions. They're going to be involved. We've got a lot of people who are going to be involved in this process.
Hey, if there's 1 or 2 of you that aren't family and friends that might be watching this video, we appreciate you too. And thanks for watching.
So, till next time, take it easy.